Welcome to our NSHSS Educator Q&A panel tonight. My name is Leslie Walton. I am pleased to be here with our four Educators of the Year from NSHSS. We'll be introducing them in just a minute, but as everyone is getting started and coming in, we would love to hear from you. Where are you joining us from today? Put that in the chat. Let us know where are you from. We want to see where our educators are located and just how widespread NSHSS is across the country and across the globe. And yeah, let us know if you have any questions. We can always put that in the Q&A panel. You've got two separate items. You've got your chat on the side, and then you have the Q&A panel for questions to our panelists tonight. Got a couple people from Florida, nice. How are things going down there? I hope everyone has had a good week so far. Hi, Nikki. Just saying hi to everyone and letting them join the room.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful evening.
As we're coming in too, I will do a little bit of housekeeping and just say, for the most part, if you guys look all of our attendees, you can see on the top right-hand corner of Zoom, there is a view button. If you hover up there, we recommend that you use speaker view so you see whoever is talking so that you can see their face along with their story this evening. I am very excited to be here with our four panelists and Nikki, of course. Quick question. Are you guys already registered as an NSHSS educator? Or have you not yet registered? Let us know in the chat. Great. Maria's already registered. That's fantastic. All right. Well, it looks like we have several people, so I will go ahead and get started. And we put together, wait, I'm not even on this. Hi, everybody. Just a quick introduction. My name is Leslie Walton. I am the Member Engagement Manager and Educator Liaison for NSHSS, and I am happy to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for this informal but informative panel Q&A session with some of our 2019 and 2020 NSHSS Educators of the Year. Thank you to all of our panelists for joining us. So have you guys ever heard of NSHSS? Have you ever applied for a grant? Let us know. We're so glad that you're here. Thank you. So just a few quick facts about NSHSS, so that you can learn a little bit more about our organization that was established in 2002 by Klaus Nobel, that we are sad to say passed away this year, but we honor his legacy by continuing on with this distinguished academic honor society. We work to honor our young, diverse scholars. Since 2002, we have had over 1.7 million members join NSHSS. It's a global organization that is across 170 countries, and it is a lifetime membership. So that's one thing that sets us apart, is that we want our members to be with us from high school, college, and into their professional careers. We are proud to offer more than $2 million in scholarships annually through NSHSS and our partners, and we work really hard to develop partnerships with world-class universities, corporate entities, educational organizations, and other government partners so that we can provide a diverse range of opportunities for our students. And part of why you guys are here tonight, we have our Educator of Distinction program where more than 55,000 educators have been nominated by our members, and we are so proud of that. Why should you join NSHSS as an educator? Well, part of it is that we believe that you should be recognized for your hard work and your academic success. So inside and outside the classroom, we think that you should be recognized for that, and that's why we have our student members nominate Educators of Distinction. We have opportunities for leadership for educators so that you can tell us what you need in your community and how NSHSS can best support that. We try to provide networking opportunities for our educators so that they can share information with one another. Those tips and tricks that help you get through, especially I know Sophia had some great tips during our COVID panel about how to survive when you're moving into a virtual setting. So that was very helpful. We like to build teamwork and to help people have a motivated team when sometimes, you know, you're just struggling to get through. We look to our team, our educator community to help motivate us. And then also, it's just an incredible impact that educators are making on students. We recognize that, we want to share it, and we want to celebrate it with our community because we couldn't do it without you and our students couldn't do it. So that's really valuable and important to us. Specifically, these are the topics that we'll talk a little bit about tonight. I know that a lot of people are interested in the grants, so I'll let Nikki talk about that in just a minute. Then we also have our exclusive webinars. We have virtual and now in-person events that we're so excited about. Scholars Day DC is coming up, if you guys haven't seen that on the website. We have college and career fairs. You have the opportunity to nominate your outstanding scholars, which we'll talk about in just a minute. And then of course, those networking opportunities that we were mentioning. Before we get started with our panel, I would like to turn it over to Nikki so that she can introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Nikki. I am the Scholarships and Communications Manager for NSHSS. So I manage all of our scholarship and grant programs from conception to awarding. So the entire process I am in charge of. So we're so glad to have everybody here. You know, we have such a great wide variety of opportunity, not only for our students, but also for our educators. And we really like to celebrate that. And we try to support and celebrate as many individuals as possible as we can. Now, Leslie, I do want to go ahead and we need to introduce our wonderful panel that we have here. So I'm actually going to start with Miss Sophia Gonzalez. She is actually one of our 2020 Be More winners and our 2019 Educator of the Year. So Sophia, would you like to say a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much, Nikki. So hi, everyone. My name is Sophia Gonzalez. I'm from the Chicagoland area. I am 2019 Top Educator of the Year and Be More Fun Grant winner 2020 OMG. Listen, I really hope that for those who are in this space, really catch the vision of NSHSS and how it is such a welcoming space for teachers in the trenches who really want to make a difference and just need a little bit of support and need those resources. I am the founder of a nonprofit by the name of Project 214 that empowers students and teachers in underprivileged areas, both locally and internationally. I do teach a little bit of college on the side. Yes, I'm not busy, right? Trying to prep tomorrow's teachers in a teacher preparation program called Moreland University. And I'm just excited to be here. And I'm a recent fellow for an incredible fellowship called the Latinx Teachers Fellowship with Latinos for Education. Mouthful. But listen, this is such a great society to connect yourself with. And I hope that by the end of this session, you will be convinced of that.
Thank you, Sophia. It's always such a joy to have you here with us. So thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next panelist, Miss Helen Freeman. She is actually our 2020 Coach of the Year. So Helen, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Oh, looks like you're muted.
Yay! I just ate pesto, so let's make sure it's not in my teeth, okay? My son made it. But I'm actually in Dallas, Texas for this entire week with my son and my daughter-in-law and my grandbaby. Loving that, 17 months old. But I'm actually a West Virginia teacher from Huntington. And I'm going to tell you a little bit later about how I became an NSHSS teacher, or was nominated by a student as a distinguished teacher. But I have enjoyed this experience, and I was nominated. Well, I won Coach of the Year and received a $5,000 grant, which has blessed me. And as Sophia said, we're in the trenches trying to make a difference. And NSHSS has just lifted us up and made us feel appreciated, because I think we all, today, everyone's just kind of trying to educate students the best that they know how. And everybody's kind of focused on, they're worried about money, time, all kinds of different things. And nobody really is focusing on those children like they should. So that's my love. And I've been doing it for a long time, 37 years. And I'm a theater and a speech and debate teacher, and I have full programs. So I have 185 in my program for theater, and I have 40 some on my team for speech and debate, and we travel. Well, we didn't last year because of COVID, but we were online. So yeah, like Sophia and like all of us, because we're working hard to make that difference, we're busy. And I hope that after this session, just like Sophia said, you're gonna love and want to be a part of this great group. And Nikki and Leslie have just been wonderful. You really have. And I love that. And so kind, so helpful. So thank you.
Well, Helen, thank you. We love having such wonderfully passionate teachers involved with us. It makes everything so much better. So thank you. We're actually going to move on to our next panelist, Rajini Sundararaj. She was actually one of our NSHSS Teacher of the Year finalists for 2020. Rajini, would you like to say a little bit about yourself?
Sure, Nikki. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Rajini Sundararaj. I teach physics at Martha Allen Stilwell School of the Arts in Jonesboro, Georgia. Before I came to the United States of America, I taught in international schools in the Middle East and in a public school in India. And this is my 13th year of teaching in the US. It's a great experience for me. So many things to share with you all today. I'm happy to be here. And apart from my classroom teaching, I'm the sponsor of the Science Club and STEAM Club at my school. I'm also an advisor of Georgia Chief Science Officer's STEM program. Through this program, I collaborate with other educators in the state level to design and exchange innovative lesson plans aiming to support underrepresented Georgian communities and to cultivate an equitable community of lifelong learners across Metro Atlanta in their STEAM academic endeavors. To promote educational equity across Metro Atlanta, as a Clayton County ambassador and liaison, I initiated a virtual student mentoring opportunity for first generation and underrepresented students with the help of Georgia Tech Common Good Community Outreach Program in 2020. So through this program, many students in the Atlanta area, including numerous students from our school, receive free course tutoring, SAT and ACT preparation, college application essay assistance, and general academic professional mentorship by being paired with the Georgia Tech graduate students. So it was a great opportunity for the students to get an opportunity for them for getting free tutoring services across Metro Atlanta. And I was nominated by NSHSS student member, and it was a great experience for me to apply for the NSHS Innovative Grant. And Leslie and Nikki, they were on top of that to follow up with the application process. And whenever I need some assistance or any timely help needed, they were really on top of it. I'm so happy for that. Even I nominated some of our students and they got selected for the scholarships. That was a great help for our students. They used that money in their college studies for buying textbooks and other accessories. So I'm so happy, and there are only few non-profitable organizations that can support the teachers and students. Our NSHSS is one among them. I'm very proud to be a part of this team and the networking. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Rajini. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, our lone gentleman on our panel tonight, Mr. Sylvester Hanner, one of our NSHSS College Counselors of the Year for 2020. Sylvester, share a little bit about yourself with everybody tonight.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sylvester Hanner, and I'm a school counselor at Pittsburgh Public Schools. I work at Pittsburgh Westinghouse. It's a 6 through 12 school in the inner city of Pittsburgh. I just finished my 5th year there. And, working at Westinghouse, it's that school that, everyone, you're having conversations and you're networking, everyone's excited. So, yeah, where do you work at? So what do you do? I'm a school counselor. So where do you work at? I say Westinghouse. And then it's just that, oh, okay, well, how's that? Because unfortunately, we have a bad reputation with, a lot of the community things, the violence and historical trauma and things that take place, But, on the other hand, when people really ask, I let them know, like, I love the job because, our students are really in need. I'm really been able to work hands-on with them, work for social justice advocacy issues with the students and just really help them be successful. So in particularly, I started with a group of students that were in 8th grade, and they actually just graduated this year. And after their first year of school, I really taught the students just to advocate for what they want and different needs when it comes to social justice issues, whether it's career readiness, college readiness, academics. And so the principal and leadership team decided to have me actually stay with that group of students all the way through graduation. So we actually, that class just graduated. They have the highest GPAs. They had the most scholarship opportunities. They were able to have they were able to get college credits and to be able to be known for something. So I felt like my job was really just to be able to give the students a voice. And I think that's something that they really took away. So, and I think it really worked both ways. So me as a school counselor, I got to be able to contribute and help with what I was supposed to do with my job. But at the same time, they helped me. They helped me become a better person, a better school counselor throughout that endeavor. So I'm also a full-time doctoral student. I'm working on my PhD in counselor education and supervision. All goes well, I'll be done in December. And, that relationship with my students and the work we've been able to do, and even my struggles with that whole process and programming, it turns out after all this time, my research and my dissertation is going to be actually about the work I've been able to do with my students. And, they were more than happy and willing to want to be able to contribute to it. So it's great to see everything come full circle. And just with everything that happened this year, and this organization really just helped because just receiving that grant and being able to get it from being nominated from a student with everything that was going on, it just helped with everything that was happening during that senior year. And with COVID and things being shut down, I always write letters of recommendations for students. I always try to find different ways to be able to advocate for them. So they were excited to have the opportunity to advocate for me in my role and what I was doing. So, the organization really just gives us an opportunity and all educators an opportunity to be recognized for the work that we're really doing, try to help get outcomes for students, be able to recognize educators for the work that we're doing. So I'm just happy the organization is around, and, the multiple levels of, the different types of categories for educators, for students, and just the school as a whole. If you're not involved with it, it's a great time to be involved.
Thank you so much, Sylvester. What a wonderful rap sheet you got there with all of your amazing accomplishments. Congrats. Now I know that from a couple of our panelists, we do have some additional information we wanted to share with everybody before we get into our moderated questions. Also, just as a reminder, if you do have any questions for the panelists that you'd like to ask, feel free to drop them in the Q&A section at the bottom. We'll be answering those as well. But right now, I'm going to flip it back over to Leslie. I believe she's got a couple more slides we want to show real quick, and then we'll get right into those questions. So stay tuned.
Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, we have some sort of hard, concrete evidence of the impact that a grant can make, I think. But no, it's more visual. It's not concrete. But I wanted to start with Sophia because she shared a video with us. So let me do that for her. And then Sophia, would you like to talk about it a little bit afterwards?
Sure. Just to preface, this is just a highlight of my Be More grant competition journey. So it's really just going to walk you through that grant that I was able to receive.
Hey friends, it's your girl Mo here just to share a bit of some exciting news of things that we got going on today. As you know, we stay busy trying to promote the mission and vision of Project 214, and a part of that heart space was really submitting an application in faith to the Be Moreathon, which is hosted by NSHSS. You know that they're good friends of ours. We love them, and they deeply love us. But in this running, the Be Moreathon, we have an opportunity to share our vision, our passion print of what we would want to do for the betterment of the world. And out of 200 applicants, your girls got top 40. So we're excited because today is pretty much the second round. So Sophia is study preparing, and we have this presentation that we're ready to shoot out today at 2:30. We would love your prayers on that, and just believing God for the next step of this mission, Project 214. We're gonna go behind the scenes, and hopefully it's all gonna work out in our favor. So we're excited, and thank you and welcome.
Imagine if you were stopped at the school doorsteps because of your pronoun. Imagine if you were denied access to opportunities because your gender was looked at as inferior. That is happening to girls all around the world as we speak. And we at Project 214 have a problem with that.
Okay. Congratulations, Sophia. Your presentation has impressed the judges, and you have been selected to move forward to the Be Moreathon.
Someone as a winner who I personally know and admire, and she inspires me all the time. So, Sophia Gonzalez.
I couldn't have done this alone. I just wanted to, my family's in the room. I have my best friend Monica, who blew up the camera here, screaming. She's the co-creator of Project 214. Just get in here real quick, Mo, and say hi to the people. I love my NSHSS family and everyone that has supported this journey so far in Project 214. And let's do this. Let's do this together. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I get emotional just looking at that. That kind of just brought back the whole journey. What an exciting time. That was an epic moment in time. So explaining a little bit about the grant super quickly, right? Since you guys were just inundated with some footage. So what we were after was just the financial backing, right, of this grant to promote our latest campaign which is Her Turn, and really focusing on the gender inequality gap, both at a local and at an international stage. And, you know, winning the Be More grant, we were able to just empower girls in a children's home that we sponsor in El Salvador, that we've been servicing for many years. And we've empowered the girls in that specific children's home as our pilot program, with school supplies, transportation, fast speed Wi-Fi, uniforms, and even food, as just some of the many things that we were able to provide with that grant. And so that's just an example of how NSHSS not only just empowers us as the educator, but also our dreams, right, for world betterment. And that has just been another highlight of my professional life, and NSHSS was part of it. And so, yeah, we're really excited. We're still working with the grant funds. We're still piloting things. We're about to launch a scholarship fund this summer, and we're calling it Her Turn, just to provide just as much opportunity as we can to leverage the playing field and to provide equal access to the classroom as a fundamental right and not a privilege. And so, yeah, man, that was awesome. It was a roller coaster. It was a ride. You know, the online application process, you know, was pretty intense, but I mean, obviously it's, you know, it's worth it. And it made it easy because the portal is easy as well, and all of that. But yeah, that's the Her Turn Be More Fund grant. Amazing, amazing. I'm still living off of the energy from it.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Sophia. I get emotional too. I mean, you know, it's such an exciting time, and we were so proud to offer that. And I know Nikki, that's one of her projects that she has close to her heart and helped develop. So she's dropped that information in the chat if you guys are interested. It'll be open again for 2021 that we're in now. My goodness.
That application is currently open as we speak. So if you have a prototype, a project, or a nonprofit that is near and dear to your heart that you are the founder or co-creator of, we would love to know what that is and help you out a little bit. So we give away 10 $10,000 awards through this program, and all of that money is geared towards world betterment, as Sophia mentioned. So yeah, so if anybody out there has a wonderful nonprofit or project that they saw a need for in the world and created it, definitely apply. Applications are open now.
And then Helen, sorry about the technical stuff. Let's move on to you. You had an incredible experience because you teach theater and speech and debate. So being all in a room to put on a performance was quite a challenge during COVID. How did you manage
definitely. Well, thank you, Leslie. Honestly, these pictures they just made me laugh, because I do anywhere from 7 to 9 shows a year. And as I said before, I have about 185 students just in theater. So I teach theater all day, and then debate 7th. They call them mods, but it's actually traditional, but it's weird because some classes are blocked at our school, so they call them all mods. But my last period of the day, I teach debate, and then after school, I teach an 8th period or mod, which is my forensics program, which is speech and debate. So it is super busy. And then after I do speech and debate class till 4:30, from 3:30 to 4:30, then I go straight to rehearsal and whatever show we're doing. Well, last year, as you well know, there was no performing, no athletics. It all stopped March 13th in, I guess that was 2020. 20, correct? My years were all mixed up and I don't even know where I am, but that's okay. So when we got to March 13th and everything stopped, I canceled the very first show I've ever canceled in my life. And every spring we do a musical. Well, what was interesting, when I was nominated back in 2018, we were doing Hairspray, and I had this lovely young lady who had nominated me for a National Society for High School Scholars Distinguished Teacher. So I would get emails, and I was so busy directing. I mean, I never got home till 9 or 10 at night. You all know what that's like. And because when you do theater, you were super busy. And then on the weekends, we would travel at least twice a month for speech and debate. So it was crazy. So this young lady, when she nominated me, I just told her how much I loved her, and I never did anything with it. And then I kept getting the emails, and then all of a sudden I was free. I canceled my show that I was going to do that spring, and we were at home, and I was doing all online teaching like the rest of us. And so I filled out the information for the grant, which was so easy. And it was easy. And when I had a question, I just asked Leslie or Nikki, and it was great. And then I was awarded the Coach of the Year, which was such an honor. And in this picture, we have done a senior showcase, because when spring hit this year, things opened up. Now, we still had to wear masks, but we could have a small group in the auditorium in the theater. And so we decided in my advanced class for theater, which is theater 4, 5, and 6, I said, what do you want to do? We can do a show, but you're not going to get to do what you want. You might not get the lead, because you have to fit a part. And I've been doing this longer than God. So I thought, wow, they're going to be upset if they don't get to shine. So we, as a group, decided that they would do a senior showcase. So they picked the song that they wanted to do. I brought in a vocal director and a choreographer. Well, actually, my student in the second picture with the little mouse ear with the little bow, she actually choreographed with the girl in the feathers. And in this song, they are doing for Mean Girls, one of the songs from the Broadway production. And then in the left picture, I believe it's on your left, that whole group, that is the end of We're All in This Together, which they hated that because it's the hardest song to do in the world. But we did the senior showcase, and it was a huge success, and we got to do it for the student body. And we got to have 250 in the theater, which houses 700 usually. And everybody had their mask on, and we wore our mask, except for when we were on the stage by ourselves. It was just remarkable. And we did 6 shows in 9 weeks because we missed out on a whole year. I don't know how I did it, and coach speech and debate. And we did that over the internet, like I told you. And we went to 9 tournaments. Okay, this song is from Into the Woods. And we have a transgender. And this was remarkable for this person because they loved doing this song that we did. I can't even remember. It's one of my very favorites, but the title has left me. But we dressed them up in the Renaissance clothing because they're supposed to be. And it was just a magnificent number, and everyone loved it. And then this is a solo from another young lady. And that it just ended up wowing everyone. And so we had a remarkable 6 shows in 9 weeks, but I did almost go to heaven, but I didn't. So because of NSHSS, I was allowed to, with that $5,000, receive, my husband is also an educator. He teaches AP government and AP psychology in the same school. And he said, we should buy live streaming equipment. So that's what we did. And we live streamed a basketball game, 3 basketball games, a wrestling match, a play, a 1-act And this, we did part of this senior showcase. So it was a magnificent experience, but live streaming is super difficult, but I learned a lot. So I'm so thankful. And I used to have a nonprofit, and at this point, I wish I had it still, but it was an outdoor theater, and I did it for 20 years, and I wouldn't do it again because it was a lot of time, and I loved it. So more power. What you're doing, Sophia, is amazing. You just keep doing it, and you will be blessed. And we all know that because God is such a blessing. That's it.
Thank you so much, Helen. Rajini, do you want to share a little bit with us about, and you are a two-time grant winner with NSHSS.
Yes,
in addition to the Teacher of the Year finalist, you won the Innovation in Teaching grant. So would you like to share a little bit more with us about what you and your students have been able to do?
Yes, ma'am. So that was a great experience. One fine evening, I was nominated for both these awards, one for the NSHSS 2020 Teacher of the Year finalist, and the other one for the Innovative Educator grant. So one of my my students nominated me for this. It was a great surprise, and that application journey was very nice because it it made me to think about what I did so far in my education, and what are the achievements of the students. And it was like comprehensive experience. I have to put everything in with that given word limit. That was good. Like, instead of dragging so many things, I know we have done so many things. I mean, I have done so many things in my in the field of education career, but I have to limit my things. I have to prioritize what I have to put it in the application. But luckily, Leslie and Nikki, they helped me out to narrow down what are the things I have to focus. And, like, I cannot put everything in there. So that was a great experience, that application process. It looks a little bit lengthy, but it is worth doing that. And initially I thought I have to apply only for one grant, and later on, after seeing that, because since I teach science, it's good if I get some financial support outside the classroom, so that I can use that fund to my classroom to buy some lab supplies and everything. Because in our school, we have only limited lab supplies to do hands-on experiments for the students. So to think about the students' betterment and the other sources, I thought of applying both of them. And luckily, I got selected for both the grants, one for the NSHSS 2020 Educator of the Year finalist, and the other one was Innovative Educator grant. That was a big surprise for me when I got an email from Leslie that I was selected for these two grants. It was like, I really, like, it was super excited for me. So by using that grant, so what I did, I purchased some lab supplies for our the basic labs in a science classroom. And since it was a COVID time, but I couldn't use all of them with the in-person classroom because I had a virtual classroom for the past 1 year. But I'm planning to implement all those resources in the upcoming academic year. But another thing I purchased was iPad, because since it was a virtual classroom, this iPad was really a vital tool for my classroom, because I was able to draw diagrams, and I was able to do calculations and everything. Like a whiteboard, I was able to do everything on it, and I showed to the students. So really, that was a timely support for me. And even my principal, he was so happy that it came for the right time. So that was really a great experience, I should say. And this tool, it was for my students, were able to visualize concepts and understand connections between topics, helping me bridge the gap between me and the students in my virtual classroom. So the iPad was undoubtedly vital in my students' academic success this year. And we really utilized that resource completely, the interactive tool. And I was, even though it was virtual classroom teaching, but this iPad made me to very close with the students, and they were able to understand the concepts I was trying to teach them. That was, so I'm so thankful to NSHSS. I really know that a couple of years back about this, but when I came to know I was nominated by the student, it was like a blessed to be a part of this team. And I would like to continue for as long as I'm in the education field. And I really appreciate the NSHS team, Nikki and Leslie, for their continued support and encouragement for K-12 teachers and students to go above and beyond. And from that, I'm trying my best to nominate a few of my students, those who are eligible to meet the criteria they have given on the portal to apply for the scholarship program. Thank you, Leslie and Nikki, for this great opportunity.
Thank you so much, Rajini. What a wonderful story. And we're so glad to have you as part of the team as well. It's always lovely when we get to have conversations, and it's part of what I love. Well, I'm going to introduce and talk, well, not introduce, but we'll talk to Mr. Hanner again, because you had a project that affected your entire 2021 class, your graduating class.
Yes, can you hear me? Okay. Yes. So again, just with that, when I was talking about with the class of 2021, I started off with the school as a school counselor in 8th grade. And I followed them the whole way out through graduation. So, I always talk to, as a school counselor, we're supposed to really push, the academic, the college curatiness, the social emotional learning. But, when you're having disparities in the schools and inequities, you really have to try to work with the students and, push that student voice. And so when that student voice started to be recognized, it started to increase the culture and the climate of the school. And the students started to, speak out about things that they wanted to do. So I noticed in 10th grade, almost half the class had got, more than half the class had got honor roll. And I'm comparing it to other classes and this not from past few years, I'm showing the principal, like, they're really on it. So when you bring that stuff back to the students, that really just helps increase their self-efficacy and they're feeling good about themselves, So now they're thinking about, other inequities that are going on in the community, like a school from 2 blocks away. It's in our school district, but it was a magnet school. They offer 5 different languages. When you start in 8th grade, they have an IB program. They have a whole bunch of different things going on in the school. So it's like our students started to recognize, like, so what do we have? Why do we always have, like, the blunt end of the stick? So we started creating programs where they can be noticed for the things that they were doing. So when they were in 11th grade, we made a collaboration where we were working with the community college and University of Pittsburgh. And they started taking these classes. They talked about what they wanted. We had to remove those barriers. And half of the class ended up getting between 16 and 24 college credits by the time they graduated. So when senior year was coming up, they always talked about we need to be able to raise money because we're changing the narrative of our school. We want to be able to celebrate. We want to be able to do things. So we started different fundraising efforts. We tried different things. But when we heard about COVID and maybe not going back to the end of the year, it's summertime. The kids found ways to contact me, like, Hanner, what are we going to do? Hanner, we got to start now. How we go this? How we go do that? So at the end of the school year, basically this is what happened. We decided to have a senior week where we can really just celebrate the students, celebrate their accomplishments, and just be able to have fun and highlight some of the things that they've been able to go through. And just, that whole COVID situation was really a damper to a lot of the students' mental health, just being able to come to school and family-wise. So we just wanted to use the money to be able to celebrate the students. So we did a couple different activities. One thing we did was a senior bike ride. So we're located in the inner city of Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh has a lot of beautiful trails, and a lot of kids don't get to get out the neighborhood. So, I didn't want to just take a ride around the block. We worked with the police, we worked with Highmark, and they actually gave us, we were able to get bikes, and we did a 1-hour toured Pittsburgh. We went around the whole entire city of Pittsburgh, took pictures, murals, were able to eat at the end whenever we finished. But it was just great to let the kids to be able to get out and just be able to see the city, what we have to offer. The next day, we had a senior versus staff kickball game. And it was great because I actually picked the kids up. It was our senior committee. I picked the kids up. We went to the stores. We were able to purchase food. We had a whole bunch of different volunteers, teachers, brought their grills. So half the teachers and everybody were outside cooking while the students on the other side were playing. So it was just a great time just to be able to celebrate the kids. And then it was right before prom. So, a lot of kids were worried about, well, I don't want to get my hair messed up. I don't want to. So it was before prom, so they can go ahead and sweat out, have a great time. And it was, it made me think about in 8th grade when the students first came to the school. We had like a rec day, and we brought a whole bunch of water balloons and this and that. So at the end of the game, since I'm older now, the kids won the kickball game, but I kind of knew that might happen. So they didn't know to the side of the field, we had 3 garbage cans that were filled with water balloons. So we just had a giant water battle right after that. So it was just a great way to be able to celebrate the students after that. One of the things we was talking about was getting out of Pittsburgh, getting out the city. So we worked with a couple people, different donors. We were able to get transportation to take the students to the post office and actually get their passports. So I got a couple calls last month. Students are always talking about, yeah, we got our passports, we're this and that. And last year, we actually planned out a whole senior trip. We were like, we're going to find a way to get these passports. We were going to actually go to Canada, actually. And because Canada would have been like a 6-hour drive, and it would have been able to use our passports for the first time. But the borders and things were still closed. So we weren't able to go, but the students were still able to get their passports. We were able to still have a prom. And actually, out of all the schools in the district, only our school and 2 other schools still had proms. The other schools had to just have little things like cookouts and this and that, so they were still, we are put stuff in time to be able to just have a venue to be able to celebrate the students, because it was just a big thing to be able to celebrate their accomplishments. And so at the end of the day, being able to advocate for the students and see them go through this walk was just a great experience for me. We went through it together, but then I always talk to students about applying for scholarships. And we started doing those types of things when they were in 9th grade. I want them to be able to know that information, start early. So when this opportunity came about and they found out about it, they're like, so we're writing a scholarship for you. Oh, bet. We'll write the letter of recommendation. Oh, we'll do this. Oh, that. So now it's starting to go full circle with the kids. They understand this process. So when I actually won this award, we won this award, and they felt good about, hey, now we can contribute to what we want to do and we can keep things going and moving forward. So I'm very thankful for NSHSS myself for being able to win this award. And actually, I can't remember if it was 2019, but actually had got an award for me going back to school from NSHSS. So it's just been, very plentiful when it comes to resources, and especially as a grad student, it's very difficult to be able to find grants and money to pay for school. So it was really just right in the nick of time, So I really appreciate you guys, appreciate the organization, appreciate what you've been able to do for my students, and just hope to continue to work with you in the future.
We love that.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
I did want to go ahead real quick. Leslie, I'm sorry I cut you off. I'm so excited.
Oh, that was wonderful. Well, actually, I'm going to kick it back to you, Nikki, because speaking of the type of grant that we offer, that higher education grant is on this list. So do you want to go over the grant that we offer?
Yeah, I'll briefly touch on a couple of our grants, and I just dropped in the chat below for all of our attendees and panelists as well. We love to support our educators, whether that be helping you, provide the tools you need in your classroom to continue to make change happen for your students, or being able to make that change happen for yourself professionally. As Sylvester mentioned, we do offer quite a wide variety of grants and all of the opportunities that we possibly can. So a couple of the ones that we have here that we continue to offer year after year are, of course, our Educator of the Year Award, and we've recently added in our Principal Recognition Award and our College Counselor Service Award. Those administrators deserve to have that recognition too, so we've added those in. The higher education grant, which we've mentioned before, we also this year started to offer, we have 2 different waves of a school supplies grant. We know that unfortunately we live in a time when educators have to fund the majority of their classroom school supplies, which is highly unfair. So we like to be able to help ease the burden on that. So we have that there. We also love to honor a lot of our very specific categories of our educators. So whether you invest in STEAM or STEM programs, you teach in diversity, equity, and inclusion, as Rajini mentioned. If you do anything as far as with advanced placement or international baccalaureate, we have programs for you. We have so many. So like I said, I did drop that link in the bottom there of the chat. And I will go ahead and drop as well the link to our Be More program, which we all know that Sophia mentioned. That was an amazing day. Cannot wait to do it again. We are doing it again this year, and we will be doing the live finals in person since we can do live events again. We'll be doing that at Scholars Day Atlanta. So that is going to be a program that is part of the NSHSS family. So there we go. But yes, please make sure you check out all of our offerings. As I mentioned in the chat, supporting our educators is our passion. Any way we can continue to be a partner, not only to you for your classroom, but for your professional development and growth, that is what we are here for. So yeah, there's a couple of our grants there. And Leslie, I believe we've got a couple more resources you wanted to touch on before we head over to a couple questions.
Yeah, just very quickly, I'll let you guys take a look at this list of resources. You can always check out, everything is housed under our educator tab on the NSHSS.org website. So you can find out information about how to register as an NSHSS educator, which is easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and then how to nominate your students, which is like lemonade. So you're just adding one more ingredient because it's just contact information. And then you take a look at those 8 objective criteria that we have to nominate an eligible student. You add their contact information, what criteria they've met. We even made it so simple, you can upload multiple students at a time through an Excel spreadsheet because your time is valuable and you don't have time to go through line by line and nominate all 40 students in your class, but you can put them in a spreadsheet and nominate them. And I know that always makes such an incredible impact for our student members when they're nominated by a teacher, because they love to think that that admiration is mutual. So they'll nominate you as an educator of distinction, you'll nominate them, and the love fest can continue. We do have newsletters, so make sure that we have your current email address, because that's where that quarterly grant information, or even as new grant programs come out, will get into your inbox. Make sure that you have educators at NSHSS.org whitelisted, or information at NSHSS.org, because we know schools always have those firewalls that we have to get past. So let us know, or let us in there so that we can get this information to you. Also, we are a member of the NSPA, the National Scholarship Providers Association. There's some great resources there. And then of course, all of our partners, DECA, NACAC, Method Test Prep, Talkspace, and the Foundation for Economic Education. Very excited to start a new grant program with them this season because, as we all know, money makes the world go round, and it sure makes a difference to our student members. So we're always trying to provide more information about financial literacy to our student members. And then also share everything with us on social media. We have a Tell Us Something Good form that you can share what you have going on in your community, and we'll share that on social media. Don't forget to tag us. We are at NSHSS on everything, I think it is. So yeah, we would encourage you to register and be a part of this NSHSS community. We have a diverse group that we're very proud of and that continues to grow every single day. Again, my name is Leslie Walton. I'm the Member Engagement Manager. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. You can find Nikki and I on our website. But now I think let's get to some of these questions.
Yes, let's do it. Right quick, did you want to go ahead and start, Leslie, with one of our questions to the panel?
Yeah, I think I wanted to ask Sophia, since you have experience with 2 different grants, and then I know that you apply for grants with other organizations, what difference have you noticed between like applying for other grants and applying for a grant with NSHSS?
What I've noticed, well, being part of the network, oftentimes the grants that are provided through NSHSS are accessible, like a little bit more accessible, whereas in some of the other programs and some of the other grants that I had applied for, like I had to dig and to really seek out some of those opportunities, which rightfully so. I mean, nevertheless, NSHSS does a nice job at like dumping it in our emails and just giving us like a lot of reminders as to what's available, what you can apply for. And I think that that is crucial, especially since educators are so busy with their craft, with their classrooms, with their personal lives, and even some of their outside endeavors, because many of us are kind of cut from the same cloth. You know, we really want to, you know, we really want to change the world. And so those are some real differences that I saw just in direct response to your question.
Great, thank you. And then Sylvester, I'll turn to you. Since you said that you have won 2 different grants as well from NSHSS, and you touched on how that has kind of made an impact, but what kind of advice would you give for new grant applicants as someone who has done this more than once?
Honestly, I would say, you know, be real and be honest, and don't cut yourself short. I think that, just through the application process, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty clear. You're putting down information. I think about when I applied for the higher education grant, that was really a time where it was like, okay, I got like a year of school left and like there's nothing else I can spend out of pocket. But, just the questions that they ask to how they relate to your education and to what, you want to do and accomplish. They're very straightforward, and, they make you feel that, good about yourself, like you do have a good chance of getting it. I remember I had a little issue or problem when I had sent it off. I couldn't find it, some email, whatever. I ended up using 2 different emails at a time, but I replied to, the organization, and they got back with me within an hour. Hey, we found it. This was over here. I'm panicking because I'm running out of time and stuff. So, I can definitely say, the organization will work with you. And it's like, if you're applying for these things, chances are you are doing what you need to do as an educator. Sometimes it really does help when it comes to your own, profession moving forward. And at the end of the day, those professions are in education. And so you're going to be using those skills and just everything that you're earning and learning to be able to help and benefit students. So, I just wouldn't, if you feel like you can do it, just go ahead and go ahead and do it, sign up, get the help. Feel free to reach out to these ladies with anything that you may need. And just like I said, just on both ends, applying for the higher education grant and when vice versa, when it was the Educator of the Year award, just putting that stuff in, and it really does, because sometimes, you're in bigger school districts, or if you are at a school that suffers from injustices and inequalities, and like I said, the school up the street has this, that, and the third, and it's literally up the street, and our students are complaining about all these other things, but they're the same students and they want the same amount of things. They want to be successful as well. This is an organization that really takes those type of things to account. So I just appreciate the access to it, how everything is clear, straightforward, and how you have access to get help from these ladies when you're doing that whole application process.
I wanted to hop in here really quickly. I love that you mentioned, be real and really, tell that story. That's what we tell all of our students all the time when they're applying for our scholarships is, tell your story, be your unique self, because who you are in the marrow of yourself is, that's what makes you unique. That's what grabs that attention. That's what, gets that committee to really sit here and go, wow, we've got somebody here. And that's absolutely true about the educator grants. I know both Leslie and I are constantly reading through those grant applications day in and day out. And it's so inspiring, not only to be able to see what our educators have already been able to accomplish, but how we can best support them moving forward. So
yes, it is absolutely rewarding. Rajini, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to add on a few more things about the application process, and it's a good feel and the reflection of what we have done so far and what did work in our class and what it did not work and how we approached the students. So everything you can narrow it down. It's a great opportunity, I feel. While writing the application, at the beginning, it makes, oh, we have to put so many things. But at the end, it gives, like, after writing down everything, and we can see that, what I have done so far and how it impacted our students. How did it show the growth? So whenever I start writing, I'll think about what I implemented and how did it help the students to grow? Why did I implement? So it is a good self-reflection for all of us, the overall application process. And the instructions are very clear. So it really helped us, like it's not in other application process, like in some other scholarships or anything, it connects so many things. But this one, I feel very straightforward, and it's a great feel overall. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Helen, did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, Sylvester mentioned, well, all of you, but this organization is amazing. And I think you've really impressed me because Sylvester kind of said it best. I also work in an inner city school, and the school up the road seems to get a little bit more and gets a little more prestige, even though we have amazing students and they're going to Princeton, and some are getting full scholarships for a med program in our area. They're going to go, instead of 8 years to med school, they're going to go 7 years, and they get it all paid. That's an amazing thing. There's so many getting scholarships. But I'm not exactly in Sylvester's situation, but we have kids that have nothing, they're homeless. There's no mom, there's no dad. And this organization doesn't care about that. They care about the person and their story and helping them. And I think that's what impressed me most. You know, I've been worn down by the world a bit, and I've always been kind, and that's a blessing, but the world can weather you, beat you up. And COVID has done that to a lot of us as well. But this organization gave me hope that it's about furthering people and helping them to become a success, to make a difference. And that's what I believe. And if you can apply, or I noticed that there was a parent on the chat, go ahead and have your student apply. Have a teacher nominate him, figure it out. And that's a question. Can that student fill out the forms without being nominated, or does a teacher have to nominate them? Leslie? No. Nikki
Yeah.
shaking her head no.
We have an application button on the landing page of the website, on the main page under membership. They can apply to have an invitation sent to them. And so they just fill out that information with whatever criteria they meet. So the student is able to take a look at that information as well.
And back to go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, and as far as scholarships go, opportunities for students, we actually have started to offer quite a bit where you don't necessarily have to be a member of NSHSS to apply. We do, of course, have specific programs that you have to be an NSHSS, educator of distinction or an NSHSS member to apply for, like the Be More grant. However, we do have quite a few others that you don't have to be a member for. So I hope that, that parent, don't let that be a hurdle.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback on that, one of the things that Helen and I were speaking about before is that, one of our tenements and the foundational values is that everyone should have equitable access to opportunity. And so we do have information on our website about fee waivers for our students. If they're eligible, they could receive a full or a partial fee waiver. For students that are in need, because we do think it's important, because just because you don't have access to those things now doesn't mean that you can't have them in the future. And that's part of what we're building here in this community, is access for everyone, because you never know You never know, given the opportunity, what someone can achieve. And I think all of our educators are a testament to that as well. Thank you so much for all of your hard work, everything. Nikki, we're about to cry over here because it's so inspirational. And we just are so happy to get to support you as part of our job that we do every day. But I do think that we have a couple of questions. So I wanted to let Nikki get to those. But if you guys have any other questions or anything else that you would like to get back to, then make sure to drop that in the chat. But Nikki, I'll turn it over to you.
Absolutely. So we had 2 questions come in from a couple of members. We've got one asking about are grants available for high school teachers that homeschool groups of students? I know of groups of homeschoolers that struggle because of their diversity, and I'm focusing on STEM projects. Would it still be possible to apply to these grants? Of course, absolutely. We actually, we have had in the past homeschool grants for our educators. Unfortunately, in the days of before COVID, it was very difficult to get a lot of our homeschool educators involved, with that program. I think maybe we weren't quite, something wasn't quite lining up right on that one. But, with the days of COVID now, hopefully coming to an end, a lot of educators have kind of had to adjust to suddenly being homeschool educators in a sense, not only being an educator for their students at their schools, but also for their own children. So we take that into consideration. We actually offered a program this year called My Virtual Learning Success Story, all about how, transitioning to, instead of in-person classrooms and teaching, to that virtual environment. How were you able to kind of take that challenge and make it into a positive experience? So we actually do have quite a few programs like that. So Maria, I encourage you to check out our grants page. And Daniel had another question about how long after submission do you normally hear if you're accepted? We always like to say 4 to 6 weeks after the program closes. Sometimes it's more, depending on the amount of interest that we get in those programs. But, I've had quite a few, quite a few of our panelists have mentioned it as well, that, it was a relatively easy process. I know a couple of you mentioned that, your chances, the probability of you being able to receive those grants are a lot higher too. You're not quite competing with, millions and millions of educators like a lot of other educator grant opportunities out there. So we like to, make sure that we're getting the word out, but your chances are really great too. So those were a couple of questions we had in the Q&A. Did any of our panelists have any comments, questions, concerns, or any last thoughts they wanted to provide as part of our conversation? Anything we wanted to have a chat about before we end for the night?
Go for the gusto. That's all I gotta say. Go for it. And if you need any help, I'm sure Leslie or Nikki will help you. And if they can help you, they'll send you to us for something. But yes, it's a great organization and you should be a part.
Hey, Nikki, I would like to talk about the NSHSS membership for the students. Some of my students became NSHSS member last year, and they were really enjoyed being a member of the organization. And as a result of joining this organization, they made numerous valuable connections with other students and other professionals. So they said it is a great opportunity, attend several NSHS webinars and presentations, which allowed them to gain crucial knowledge and insightful strategies to improve themselves as an academic and future professionals. So they keep emailing me that it was a great resource for them, and getting in connection with the other professionals from other fields. Still, they would like to continue for their membership in the future as well. That's a great.
We love to hear that. We love to hear that. Of course, we love to support our NSHSS members, our students. They are As you educators know, our pride and joy. But we love to be able to offer those opportunities, not just the monetary with the grants and the scholarships, but also those networking opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's something we've started to try to do some more with our educators as well. Help create that connection in that community.
And also, I would like to add that they are interested to volunteer for some counseling or some kind of contribution they wanted to make it for NSHSS. But I told them that I'll check with you all what are the ways they can contribute and what are the things they wanted to share their college experience or some kind of services they want to be a part of NSHSS team.
Rajini, send them my way, have them contact me, because we always have leadership opportunities for our high school, collegiate, and for our young professionals. Absolutely, send them my way. We'll be happy to have them.
Okay, yeah, I will let them know, and I'll send you the names, Leslie, soon.
Absolutely. Just real quick, had another question come through. How much is the membership for students and teachers? There is no fee to become an NSHSS educator. All you need to do is register, and these opportunities are available to you because, again, that is part of our effort to support educators and all of the great work that you do. For students, again, we mentioned that there are opportunities for people who are experiencing financial hardships. You can look that up on our website, but our membership for a lifetime membership is a $75 one-time fee to have access to all of the webinars that Rajini mentioned, these scholarship opportunities or information about them, and also how you can be a part of these leadership programs. Again, we have those incredible virtual events going on. We have Scholars Day DC coming up, is the first weekend of August, the 6th through the 7th. And then we will have some more events, especially, of course, leading up to Scholars Day Atlanta in November, where we'll have the Be More Fund. So there's plenty of opportunities available on our website. Please don't hesitate to register, to reach out to Nikki or myself if you have any questions. But yeah, did anybody else have any comments? I think this has been incredible.
Might be it, but before we all go, I did want to ask everyone if you had to say one comment about, if you had to sum up your experience with NSHSS in like one sentence, what about NSHSS has made the difference for you? I know that's a lot to ask, but if you had to sum it up in one comment or one sentence, we'll start with Sophia. What would you say?
No pressure. One sentence, one phrase, Nikki, is this what we're doing?
A short answer. How about that?
Short answer. I like those short responses. I give my students an opportunity to breathe through their reflections.
There you go.
NSHSS to me has provided a platform, has provided a doorway into the universe to continue to advance my efforts towards world betterment, social justice, and education for all. And for that, I am eternally grateful.
Love it. Love it. Mr. Hanner, hit us. What's your short answer?
I would just say thank you. Thank you for being accessible. Thank you for recognizing our hard work. Thank you for giving educators and students all over opportunities to do things that they would not else be able to. So just thank you.
Well, thank you for being part of our wonderful organization. Rajini, what would your short answer be about the impact of NSHSS for you?
Overall, the experience and from the support you all giving us, I can say that it makes education more equitable.
I love it. I love it. All right, Helen, bring it home. What would be your comment?
Unmute. Making people more aware that every one of us has had a special teacher in our life that has made a difference. And that's what makes us all a success in the world. So let's not forget how important teachers and those precious students are. Was that enough?
That was lovely.
It's the truth.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your wonderful answers. And to all of our attendees, I know we ran over a little bit, but just wanted to say thank you so much for spending your evening with us and getting to chat with some of our wonderful educators. Leslie, did you want to throw up our contact information on the screen here, just in case? I'll let you speak to that a little bit if you want.
Yes, so we are here for you. We're here to support you and to support the work that you do to create our young academics and scholars and just build our community. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, educators@nshss.org. You can find Nikki and I both on the website, and I'm sure we'll be sending out emails soon.
Yes.
So yeah, and then the last, we're just always happy to hear from you. So the last thing is just as you leave, we'd like a little bit of input. So we have a quick poll and I will put that up here, but just, give us your opinion. And then that, we need your feedback because you are one of our most important resources. This is how that we continue to develop programming that is vital and necessary to our educator community. So keep us posted. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you to each and every one of our panelists for spending your evening with us and sharing your experiences. We love to support you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. It was a great evening. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Stay strong.
Thank you.
Back in the classroom this year, guys. Have a good year.
Have a great year. That's true.
May God bless us all.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, guys. Great to see you.
Bye, Helen. Thank you.
Okay, stay safe, everyone. Thank you.
Talk soon.
Bye.